This is an ode to Dante. It's December of 2019, and your oldest brother, he's getting ready for his semester abroad in Vancouver. I'm super happy for him, but I'm also very anxious because I am a helicopter mom and I have separation anxiety with my children. That's when I started looking for you. You had been dumped at a kill shelter by the woman who claims to have been your owner for 11 years. You were blind in one eye. Your hind legs were arthritic. You had separation anxiety yourself. Thank God for people like Sherry. She saw your photo, and even though she had way too many pets and she was traveling a lot, she decided to break you out of jail. She took you to the vet, to the groomer, and put you up in a swanky dog hotel. I scrolled through many photos of abandoned, neglected dogs that needed a home, but I locked eyes with you. You were so sad. You had just been shaven down because your hair was so full of mats from weeks of neglect. And I started making a connection. I said, this is the one. So I called Sherry. We met up at the dog park. You and Coco hit it off. And me and Sherry were just talking about you, and you did a little dance for me. This little dance. Tap, 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 circle, spin. Tap, 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 circle, spin. I fell in love with that little dance. And then you smelled my purse next to me, lifted your leg, and left your mark. I said, that's it. This is my dog. I took you home that night and tried to put you in a crate. You were not having it. You had enough of crates over the past weeks. So I did what I felt I had to do. I put your dog bed at my feet. And that's where you slept every night. Well, mostly. Because the next morning I did wake up and you were next to me. And your dad, he was out of town. You would get to meet him. He crept in to the room quietly. He leaned over for a kiss. Got too close to you. Oh, growl. You were just defending me. I thought it was cute. He was less impressed. But you two made fast friends. And pretty soon, every morning, he would take you for your walk, and 10-15 minutes turned into 45 minutes, almost an hour. But you had to say hello to every dog on the block, every person walking by. You had to smell every tree, every flower. You were always so full of amazement. You were always so full of energy. Our neighbors still ask about you. Just as we were getting settled, little did we know that the world was about to turn upside down. The pandemic brought with it massive lockdowns in February 2020. It took an hour and a half just to get into the grocery store. But dog parks were open. So that became our almost daily, if not every other day, ritual of going out and getting sunshine and fresh air and not having to worry about the things we were seeing on the news. Within a few weeks, restaurants figured if you open a patio, you can have customers come. And of course, those spaces were dog friendly. And just about everything that we did at that point was dog friendly. So the next 2 years, I felt you and I were just joined at the hip. You and I went everywhere together. And even Coco was breaking out of her shell. But as things started to open, we got a flyer from the vet saying that you were overdue for your yearly exam. And although you were in much better health than when you came to us, I was concerned about the fact that your teeth had been neglected. So I was in shock when the vet said you needed to have a deep cleaning and extractions under sedation. I was worried, as any good helicopter mom. The morning of your surgery, I kissed you on your forehead, and something told me, what if it's the last time you see him? I quickly brushed off those ideas. I thought to myself, you're just anxious, you're just worried. So I dropped you off, and I came home and I cleaned the house from top to bottom, doing anything to get those thoughts out of my mind. And at 12:30, I got a phone call saying you had woken up and everything was perfectly fine. But I needed to wait a few more hours to come get you. Just as I was grabbing my keys and ready to go, I got another phone call saying that you were taking a turn for the worse, asking if you had epilepsy or diabetes. And I'm thinking to myself, why ask now? I got there. And people were standing, working on you, holding oxygen masks to your face, hot water bottles around you. Your temperature had dropped. Your sugar had spiked. They found a tumor in the ultrasound. The same ultrasound they did 10 days before. They were not giving me answers. They were about to close. They sent me off to an ER on a Friday night during a pandemic. And of course, none of them had availability. They all had hours long wait. And they made you wait in the car, in the parking lot. I was told I could take you home and make you comfortable until I found a place. That your temperature was dropping, that you would need hot water bottles, that you didn't need oxygen, that you didn't need pain meds. But you did. I sent your father to go get him. I had made it my mission that you were not going to die. But after an hour and a half of suffering, of going in and out, of convulsing, I finally took away the oxygen. We sang to you, we made a circle. We all told you how much we loved you, we hugged you, we kissed you. And a little part of me was shattered that day. I had lost so many people in my family. I have lost so many. But this is what opened the floodgate of emotions, of sadness, of despair, of anxiety, of fear. I was not in control. I was not in control. That night I slept on the sofa right next to where you died. And after a few nights, your father asked me why I wouldn't come to bed. Because that's where he slept, at my feet. I can't sleep without him at my feet. So your father crawls into a little ball and he slept at my feet. A year later, I can report to you that I sought out therapy. My therapist told me that this is normal, that while I'm out there stressing and worrying and taking care of everybody else, you were looking after me. You made everything about me. You were not just my pet, you were my emotional support companion. The vet also sent out a letter just a few days ago, right before your 1-year anniversary of your death. UC Davis Animal Hospital Research Center received a donation from them in your name. I guess they felt so much guilt. I will always love you, and I am so thankful for the lesson that you taught me. I'm not in control.